Hello, thank you for joining this presentation. My name is Veronica Piccinini. I come from the University of Nova Gorica in Slovenia, and I'm happy to present the study opportunities in Slovenia at the University of Nova Gorica today to you. With me, there are also two of our students who will share their study experiences with you. The first one is Miss Magdalena Mihajlovska from North Macedonia. She studies viticulture and enology. And another student, Milja Milenkovic from Serbia, who studies cultural history at the School of Humanities and is just about to finish her undergraduate studies. If you have any kind of comment or question during the presentation, please don't hesitate to send your question to the FAIR platform. I will get your question and we will answer it as soon as possible, most probably at the end of the presentation. But if there is some question related to a particular issue, which is on the current slide, I will try to give my best possible answer straight away. So, welcome once again. We come from the University of Nova Gorica, which is located in western Slovenia at the very border with Italy, practically. We are located 100 meters from the Slovenian-Italian border. We are located in a lovely sub-Mediterranean region, not far from the sea, actually 20 minutes away. There's the lovely Italian coast and seaside resorts, and also the Slovenian coast is quite close. Plus, we are also located very near to the mountains. On the left, you can see the beautiful river Soča Valley, attracting a lot of tourists and also young people with its summer festivals, music festivals, water sports, and so on. So actually, we are located in a very convenient position along the highway leading from Venice to Ljubljana. So to Ljubljana, you have less than 1 hour's drive, and to Venice, you've got, let's say, 1.5 hours drive. So this is also one of our assets. A lot of students from many countries around the world like our location and decide to study in our beautiful country and region. Our region is also known for rich history, rich culture, and natural beauties, as you can see. In the middle, you can also see a very particular place in Nova Gorica, a common square actually between two countries, Slovenia and Italy, and practically the border runs just across the square, which is owned commonly by two countries. So it's also a popular Instagram spot and a place to hang out. On the right, there is a picture from the vineyard. Yes, we are a very well-known wine-growing region, but even more, we are also the only specialized university in also viticultural and enology studies. And in the picture, actually, there is our student from the School of Viticulture and Enology doing some practical work in our university vineyard. Nova Gorica itself is a young modern town. It was built after the Second World War. It is also a very safe and welcoming study environment, so you can imagine it's not a big city and it's placed in a very convenient location, so whenever you need to go somewhere like to a larger city or out to the nature, to the sea or to a skiing resort, everything is really close and at your hand. We are a small university, a research-oriented one. Actually, we are known on a global scale for our research achievements. And what is more, not only for the research achievements of our researchers and professors, but The point is that we also always include our students in research activities. So this is our big advantage, and I'll tell you more later on. The university was founded in 1999 as the first international postgraduate school in the area of environmental sciences in Slovenia. It actually has a very strong international character, and we are proud of that. And we are proud of the fact that more than 50% of our students actually come from abroad, from many, many different countries, from all the continents of the world. Well, okay, except Antarctica, I guess. We have three major campuses located in three places. The headquarters are number one, picture number one, Nova Gorica. So that's this actually spot here on the very border with Italy. In this building, we have the School of Humanities, School of Arts, plus some doctoral programs of our university. Number two is Vipava, the second largest campus. It is located along the same highway leading from Venice, which is actually here on the left, to Ljubljana, which is in the very center of Slovenia. So Vipava is this spot here. And here in this beautiful mansion called Lantieri Mansion from the 17th century, a newly renovated one, we've got three schools. The School for Viticulture and Enology, and the location is actually a very famous one in terms of viticulture and enology, because Vipava may be a very, very tiny town, but it is the center of viticulture and enology in our region. In the same building, we also house the School of Engineering and Management and the School of Environmental Sciences. Plus, behind this building, there's another building which actually has a small student dormitory. So it's very convenient actually to live and study almost in the same building. Number three is our third campus, the smallest one, but a nice one, located very near in Ajdovščina, a pleasant small town located in a very nice environment, close to nature. And here you can study physics, astrophysics, and material science. Plus, the building itself also houses quite a lot of research laboratories and centers. Partly, I've already exposed all the academic fields that offer opportunities for studies, but once again, what can you actually study at our university? Well, at the School of Engineering and Management in Vipava, you can take a bachelor's or a master's degree in engineering and management, or a master's degree in leadership in open education. Both engineering and management and open education are actually fields which attract a lot of students, and the graduates themselves are also very, very highly employable. So these are great study areas in terms of your future employment. At the School of Environmental Sciences, you can probably already imagine what you can study. Yes, environment, so things related to ecology, preservation of the environment, environmental policies, and so on. At the bachelor's level, you also have the opportunity of a double diploma with the University of Bihać in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Then in Ajdovščina, at the School of Science, as I've already told you, you can study physics and astrophysics. That's also a field that has been attracting a lot of young people in the past years. So that currently, let's say, we're also offering some scholarships to study physics and astrophysics. Plus, on the master's level, you can also study material science. Again, a very, very promising field. The graduates practically get jobs straight away after their diploma certificate because material science, so you can imagine it's about the development of new materials, especially for industry purposes. Right now, for example, we are focusing on the development of some modern nanomaterials. So these actually are fields which definitely offer a wide array of possible jobs and areas to work in. At the School of Viticulture and Enology, you can study viticulture and enology, of course, also at the master's level. Actually, we are the only university in Slovenia offering specialized studies just in viticulture and enology. At the School of Arts, which is located here in Nova Gorica, where also my offices, you can study arts, but not like general arts or traditional arts. We are actually specialized in digital arts and practices. You can study or take modules of animation, video, film, photography, and new media. And at the master's level, we've got the study program Media Arts and Practices. You have the same modules plus a couple of more modules like Contemporary Art Practices or Scenographic Spaces. At the School of Humanities, you can study cultural history. Emilia will tell you more about that later on. Slovene studies, or also take master studies in Slovene studies, in literary science or linguistics. And here with linguistics, you also have an option of a double degree diploma with the very well-known university from Venice, Ca' Foscari. And you can also take the course of digital humanities or a very, very specialized course, European Master in Migration and Intercultural Relations. This is a joint study program led by more universities. So it's a project consortium of universities. The main leading partner is the University of Oldenburg in Germany. We also participate, plus the University of Stavanger in Norway and some universities in the Czech Republic and even in Asia and Africa. And the studies go like that in the first semester you are at the main partners university in Oldenburg, and then in the second semester you are in Norway at the University of Stavanger. And then in your second year, you choose your location of studies depending on your topic of the thesis, of the master thesis. So you can also go to Africa, Asia, or choose one of the European universities. And this is a very specialized program based on mobility. Actually, I apologize here, I forgot to correct the information. There was no admission in 2021 because we don't have the admission every year. It could be every second year, right? Because it's a 2 years program. Right now, the admissions are still open for self-funded students, and also the scholarships have already been awarded for the next academic year. So the admissions are definitely open for the next academic year for this particular study program. Then we also offer PhD studies, doctoral studies. You can see there are a lot of fields that you can choose from. Also some very specialized fields like karstology, so that's a branch of geology dealing with the karst phenomenon, underground caves. Most probably you know that Slovenia is very well known for its underground caves and underground phenomena, so to say, like Postojna cave and so on. Also, cultural heritage is a very interesting program, and again, you also have the option of a double PhD diploma with the EUAV, University of Venice here. Then you can also take a 1 year specialization course. It's called the second level master in economics and techniques for the conservation of the architectural and environmental heritage. Again, this is also a joint international degree carried out together with the EUAV University of Venice. Now, about our advantages. So, what are the advantages of studying with us? Well, the students actually will explain more about that. So, I will give you some general guidelines and then I will rather include our students to take part and to share their study experience. Maybe the first thing that stands out is our individual approach. We are a small university. We have about 400 students, and so that means we can afford placing them in small groups and dedicating our time to them. For example, I also teach languages here at the university. I work with students directly, and I can say that I never have more than 20 students per group. So we are proud of that. It means that, in fact, the students can get the most of their studies. Yeah, and the second advantage, of course, is linked to our size and our advantage of being able to offer individual approach. There is approximately, according to statistics, one professor per four students at our university. So that's the average ratio of the number of professors, of students per one professor. I've already mentioned the possibility of getting engaged in research and project work and other activities. Yes, of course, we always encourage students to take part. Again, our doors are always open, the doors of our research labs and centers. You can practically join any project it is going on, or simply if you have an idea what you would like to study, let's say in terms of research, what kind of project you would like to take part in, simply knock on our door and we will include you. Of course, we also offer a lot of student mobility programs, not only the Erasmus program, that's just one of the mobility options. So we encourage students to go on international exchanges and to get some more experience abroad. And of course, we also receive international students for mobilities to our university. So if you are a student considering just taking an Erasmus or whatever exchange and coming to our university, you are more than welcome to do that. Just contact our international office. Then, of course, one of the main advantages is also the fact that there are no tuition fees for stately funded bachelor's and master's programs for EU citizens. So nobody from EU has to pay for the bachelor's and master's programs that have the so-called state concessions. And also the citizens of Serbia, North Macedonia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Kosovo, Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. So citizens of all these countries are exempt of paying tuition fees. They don't have to pay tuition fees at all. At our universities, all the bachelor studies are thus free for the citizens of these countries, while it depends, some master studies have have tuition fees, some don't. You have to check. But the good news is coming, that we are right now just introducing also special scholarships for those master study programs that have tuition fees, so the students will be able to get scholarships for that. Well, in terms of scholarships, there are various scholarships offered. Like I said, these ones that will be introduced right now already for the next academic year for master studies. Then currently there are special scholarships for student athletes and scholarships for bachelor studies in physics and astrophysics. So check our website, we've got all the information there. Then another great advantage, no entrance examinations for those who would like to enroll. So actually, when you apply to the university, you get the place on the basis of your previous achievement. So that means the average grade from your, if you're enrolling to bachelor studies, the average grade of your third and fourth year of secondary school, and the rest 60% of the entrance points, so to say, for getting a place at the university is represented by your grade at the final examination, the matura, or the school leaving examination at the secondary school, right? The only study program that has some kind of an entrance examination, but not a theoretical one, so don't worry, you don't have to study for that, but it's called the proof of ability check, is the one at the School of Arts for digital arts and practices, and also for the program media arts and practices. It means that you have to have an interview with the representative of the school, to write a motivational letter, and to send your portfolio of photos, films done, animations done. But everything can be done online, so you don't have to come to Slovenia because of that, right? Okay. Well, the first question actually that I usually get is like, okay, what is the language of teaching at your university? Well, according to the Slovenian legislation, we have to carry out all the bachelor's programs in Slovenian unless we have a parallel, the same study program going on also in Slovenian. Then we can actually carry out the whole study program in English or any other foreign language. But because we're a small university, we have no problem with adapting. That means even if in theory Slovenian is the language of teaching, we place students in small groups, so we have bilingual settings. The teacher first explains something in Slovenian, then in English. You have materials in English placed in your virtual classrooms. The teachers will give you extra literature, alternative literature in English. You can answer or write in English at your examination, so nobody expects you to be proficient in Slovenian from the very start. That's logical. Uh, well, at the master's level and the PhD level, on the contrary, you have English as, let's say, the major language of teaching. Of course, it depends on the study program on the master's level, while all doctoral study programs are in English, right? I will ask also the students later on to share their opinion on that. I would like to stress that no preliminary knowledge or no certificate proving that you have some knowledge of Slovenian is required. So, and no actually English language certificate is required. So it's definitely recommended that your level of English is, let's say, good enough to be able to study. And if you have any preliminary knowledge of Slovenian, of course, that's an advantage, right? We also offer Slovenian language courses as elective subjects, meaning that you can also get credit points, ECTC, for that, and they are free. So they start at the very start of October, so you can start learning Slovenian then. Plus that this is really fresh news. It is just about to appear on our website, so please check. The Year Plus program, offering the whole year Slovenian language courses, will also be introduced for those who are enrolling into the next academic year, so 22-23. That means if you take the Year Plus, you are able to, let's say, get an extra year of student status, so to say. Of course, if you fulfill certain requirements, pass the Slovenian language course, and gather enough credit points altogether, but it's a great way to start, let's say, your studies, especially, for example, for those candidates who do not come from Slavic-speaking countries, who might have some more difficulties with the Slovenian language. Then another, let's say, very important advantage is also that our studies are all practically oriented. Already at the bachelor's level, all the study programs have practical placements and very practical, how to say, classes going on, introducing, how to say, the work area to you, right? And in this way, you are also able to establish contacts with your potential future employers. So there are lots of projects going on with businesses, lots of field trips, visiting organizations, companies, and so on. And we always advise students to take part in the latter. And of course, this practical orientation and all those contacts with the potential employers and all the skills that you get bring us really high employment rates of candidates. We're really proud of that. According to the statistics of our career center, as you can see, the statistics are from the January this year. 90% of graduates are able to find work within 1 year after graduation. Here you can also see on the left one of our students of engineering management performing his practical placement at the company. On the right, you have field work of the students of environmental sciences doing some research on the Socha River, for example. So there are a lot of excursions, a lot of field trips at all study programs. Then, just in case if there are some athletes among you, I have to point out that we are very well known as an athletes friendly university, and we have athletes of various sports disciplines and from various countries studying with us, because we offer a special student athlete status, giving you a lot of benefits in terms of extra examination dates or postponed examination dates, or, for example, individual work with professors, and you don't have to be present all the time, and so on. Plus, it's also important that you can also get a scholarship. Now, this next advantage is not only, how to say, very convenient and very suitable for student athletes who are often absent from, let's say, lecture rooms, but also for the rest of the students, or for those who are maybe part-time students who work, who have children, who have student jobs or whatsoever. So we are very flexible in terms of online teaching. During the COVID period, practically we shifted to online teaching because we had to, right? Just overnight, because we have a very well established online teaching platform. It's called Meeting. You can see it here on the left in the picture. So it's a conferencing system. It's a system which incorporates also virtual classrooms and all sorts of, let's say, virtual communication tools. So a lot of lectures are also carried out in a hybrid mode. It means you can come to the lecture room and listen, or you can be at home and follow the lecture live, because the professor in the lecture room with certain technology is actually recorded and the lecture goes live into the Meeting virtual classroom. And it is also recorded and stored. You can watch it later thus. So this is another advantage, right? And this is also very convenient for those students who might come from, let's say, other continents. They have some trouble with their, let's say, visas or something, are a little bit late at the beginning of the academic year to come to Slovenia. So if you have any sort of trouble in not being able to come to Slovenia, you can perform a great deal of study opportunities online, of course, depending on the study program and on the level of studies, right? Because with practical things and field work, those, of course, have to be carried out on the spot. Then another general advantage is also that Nova Gorica is a small town and our region is not a central region in Slovenia, which means that the accommodation prices might be, let's say, lower, and definitely there are enough dorms in the region, which can be a problem in larger towns. But in Nova Gorica, it's never been a problem. Of course, we always advise students to book accommodation early enough so you are able then to choose among different options, right? But definitely you will not remain homeless, so to say. There are enough of student accommodation opportunities. And also our student office helps students get, let's say, private accommodation or arrange accommodation in the region if they need some extra help. Now, how to enroll, when to enroll. So these are the calls for bachelor studies. Oh, actually, I forgot to correct the date here. Of course, it's for the next academic year. So for enrollment in 22-23, of course, I apologize for that. So for EU citizens, the next application call opens in August, on the 19th of August, and then the non-EU citizens have the next call actually in August as well, but the current call, the second call, is still open till the 1st of July. As you can see, there are more calls for non-EU citizens, so that's good for you. And all the applications go through the so-called EVS application system. That's a national system for online application for studies. It means that within these calls, you have to submit an online application form through this online system. Of course, we're aware that you do not have, let's say, the Matura examination certificate yet, because the school year at the secondary school has not yet finished and you don't have the results yet. But don't worry, so Slovenians don't have those results and certificates either. It means that you can, of course, send all this documentation later. Actually, when you submit your application, you get a reply from our student office, that is our application and enrollment services, telling you by which date you should submit all the rest of the documentation, right? So don't worry about that. It is only important that within an application call, within an admission call, you submit this online application. And the same goes for masters and PhDs, right? So within these calls here, you have to submit your application form via the national online EVS application system. If you have any other, let's say, questions, please don't hesitate to contact our admissions office, which is called student office. They can enter directly into this national online application system, see your application in the system itself, and they see, let's say, what is wrong, if some documentation is missing, if something has still to be filled out, and so on, right? So don't hesitate, just write to them or call them and they will help you. Now we are very proud of our achievements and our global university rankings because we're a small university in a tiny country. And I think that getting, let's say, 169th place on a global level, let's say here I've exposed the wrong university ranking system, is a great achievement for such a small university. And yeah, we also are proud of the conclusion of the European University Association evaluation that took place a couple of years ago, concluding that they have found a small, young, active, and enthusiastic university with happy and satisfied students. And we are indeed very happy that our students are satisfied and that they wish that they get all the qualifications, knowledge, and skills that they wished for, and that their employers are happy with them as well. But of course, I think our students are our best ambassadors, and I'm sure that our students have a lot to say and a lot of tips and experience to share with you. So I would like to ask Magdalena and Milia to join us and to share their experiences. And of course, before I forget, here you have the contact of our student office. Of course, everything is also on our website. There are all the contacts available. Plus, here is also my personal contact from the university. I'm Veronica once again, so do not hesitate to write to us or to reach us via website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on, right? So feel free to contact us in case you have any questions. Aha, well, okay. Perhaps I can answer one or two questions before including Magdalena and Milia so that the candidates don't have to wait for the answer. And the first question refers to the application calls for the next year, and if Croatian secondary school students can study at our schools, at our university, and what is the procedure? Yeah, actually, of course, the Croatian citizens are welcome and can study at our university. And actually, the procedure is the same within this application call. So you Croatians are within the EU application calls, right? So your next application call will be open on the 19th of August, right, for bachelor studies. So on the 19th of August, you will be able to submit your online application through this EVŠ. It means elektronsko visoko školstvo, right, like electronic higher education national online system. So please submit your application form through that portal, right? And later on, you will submit also your other documents, right? So the procedure is actually completely the same. And when the application call closes, that is in late August, our student office, that is the admissions office, will contact you, will tell you whether you got a place or not. And of course, if you got a place, you will be asked to submit the rest of the documentation and to go to the final stage of the enrollment procedure, to fill out another, how to say, enrollment slip of paper, and that's the only thing that has to be, let's say, filled out. So the application procedure is not a complex one, I would say. And perhaps I can point it out. You don't really need any external help in terms of some agencies and so on, although some agencies are really good. But I think that you can do everything on your own and with the support of our admissions office, right?
Veronica, so sorry to interrupt you. Wait, Hi, everybody.
Hello, Milia. Hello.
Hi, my name is Mila. I'm from Serbia. I'm currently studying
Share
cultural
your
history
experience, yes.
on Faculty of Humanistics and University of Nova Gorica. I just want to add up something about the Croatian students. I personally have a friend that is half Bosnian and half Croatian, Adrian. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes.
He has also Croatian papers as well as Bosnian.
Yes.
1 year he enrolled with Bosnian papers and had to go through the whole process of getting a visa and everything. Next year he entered with Croatian papers. The whole enrollment process was the same. He just had less papers to go through, and he didn't have to apply for visa and everything. So for Croatian students who have European Union papers and EU passport, it's much easier for you. So you don't have to worry about it. You just need, when you find a place to stay as a dorm or an apartment, you're just gonna go and get a paper that says that you have an address here in Slovenia, and that's about it. You don't need a help from agencies. You don't need to pay somebody to guide you through the process. That's why we are here, older students, to help you go through, and also Studentska Pisarna and Veronica, they are all amazing. They all help out and they try and do your best. That's all I want to say regarding the Croatian students.
Yeah, thanks, Milia. That's a good point. Yeah, because some candidates might have this double citizenship, because it's pretty common even in our region bordering.
Yeah, it's very common. And I remembered Adrian, and then I wanted just to hop in and to give his side of the story. Because I do think that it's much easier for Croatian students, but that doesn't mean that's impossible also for Bosnian, Macedonian, and Serbians and Montenegrins.
Yeah, definitely.
Just less papers for Croatians.
True. Definitely. Of course, it's a little bit easier if you come from the EU. Actually, the biggest difference is if you come from a country which is actually on the list of countries which need a visa to enter Slovenia.
As Kosovo.
That Kosovo, for example, that might be an example, or let's say other countries from Asia, Africa, or other continents. So the biggest difference is between the countries requiring a visa to enter Slovenia and those who do not, because, for example, from Bosnia and Herzegovina or Serbia, you can freely enter Slovenia and you can arrange all the documentation actually for this. Unofficially, we say visa. Actually, it's a temporary residence permit for students. You can either arrange it through through our Slovenian embassies in your countries, but it's much better and easier. Milia and Magdalena can actually now share directly their experience about this here. I'm sure that everybody, at least you two, did that here in Slovenia, in Nova Gorica or Ajdovščina, because it's much more efficient and faster.
Yes, it's easier, it's faster. I have, my roommate is from Kosovo, she's from Pristina. The first year before she came here, it was such a pain in the ass because she had to take care of all her papers in Pristina, in the embassy 1 year prior, because she needs an entry visa to Slovenia. As from Serbia, Macedonia, Bosnia, and also Montenegro, we don't need visa. We have 90 days to be in the country without anything. In those 90 days, you go to Upravna nota, opština, as we would say. You get those papers you already collect in your home country. You fill out some forms, and that's about it. In 1 month, depends on Upravna nota, and depends if you're in Gorica or Ajdovščina and how much stuff they need to take care of, especially now that we have Ukrainians, so they are the priority, and students now wait a lot more than we usually did, but it's not such a big deal. You're still in Slovenia, you're still studying, doing your thing. When they call you, you go and you collect it. It's much easier, efficient, and it's cheaper actually, because in your home countries, you would need to pay around 120 euros or more. Here you pay around 70, I think, for the visa. So I would suggest you coming here first. You can ask me or Magdalena or any other student that's already here, what do you need from papers? We will gladly give you the list. You go collect, and then you come, and in like a week or two, you go to Pravna Nota and you figure everything out. It's not a big deal. It's nothing complicated. It all goes very fast. So you don't have to worry about that.
Hi, I just wanted to mention when you said the people to ask us. So actually from this student here, we are kind of making some mentor tutor thing for older students to help out new incoming students, which will mean that before the beginning of the year, we will all have your emails, your information, and we will email you to ask what you need. We will tell you what you need from documents to help you find place to stay, to guide you through the whole process, because it's sometimes scary and might feel like you're alone, but everyone will be here, from students to teachers to the dean to the rector. Everyone is, like the teacher previously mentioned, everyone is so approachable. And as Milia mentioned, they are amazing. So you really don't have to be scared. We'll all be here. You will even have tutors for some certain subjects to help you in your knowledge, like chemistry if you need it, physics, depends on which school you go to. That is something new that's implemented now. And I think it will be a very good step.
Yeah, thank you, Magdalena. Yeah. Perhaps you two can comment on the next question. The next question is, do you have the option of studying in English? Well, partly we have already answered that I don't think that our students have any problems, even if the study program is carried out in Slovenian, because on the master's and PhD level, almost all the study programs are carried out also in English or just in English. On the bachelor's level, officially, as I said, mostly the teaching is in Slovenian or bilingual, but I can tell you that our students, especially if they come from a Slavic speaking country, I think in half a year their Slovenian gets more than good, I would say. So definitely enough to be able to follow the lectures, but we are also very flexible, and they can tell you in terms of that, how they did their examinations, which language they used in class at exams, and so on. So please feel free to comment.
For example, in our school year, we are the majority, I want to say, international students, and not only from Slavic speaking countries. We have from Estonia, from Sweden, from Canada. And thanks to the fact that the teachers are so adaptable and flexible, there's always a question: do you want the lectures in English or in Slovene? Of course, the slides and the material are in both languages, but the teaching is mainly in English if we want it to be. So don't even worry about the language. And if you're from Slavic speaking country, like Professor Piccinini already said, it's very easy to learn. You just have to listen and you will adapt very quickly to the language.
At my university, I mean, yes, they can help you in English, but there's no need for it because most of the students are from Slavic speaking countries. Cultural history is something that students from Bosnia and Serbia and Macedonia choose, or also Slovenians, and we all speak same. And professors also had Serbo-Croatian in high school. They know, they can explain to you. They also allow you to write your seminars in Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, whatever. They also really try to help you with exams by speaking to you in your native language. They also know Chirilica, so you don't have a problem with that too. I had an amazing experience at my university, at my faculty. All of my professors were so approachable, so adaptable, so understanding, so loving and caring. I really adore all of them. And there is no need for English at my university. At probably others like engineering or environment or physics, yes, because they're more international. At my university, you don't need English. You can just talk in your native language until you pick up Slovenian, which is very easy. You're gonna pick it up in 3 months. I don't doubt that, because if I did it, if everybody around me did it, you can do too. It's not a big deal. Also, you have a Slovenian course. The professor Maya, she's adorable. I adore her, and she sends you materials all the time, and she's 24/7 like available for any questions or translations or anything. So I really had a great experience. So the languages and what it was and will never be a barrier at my university, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I have the same experience with my students when I work with them. You know, in the first semester, if we have some project work or something going on, you know, and then at the beginning I say, oh well, let's keep it just, you know, in English. Let's talk in English so everybody will understand. And then after half a year or a couple of months, they say, no, professor, you'd better tell us in Slovene, because now we got even better in Slovene than in English. We understand more. So actually it's the international students themselves that say, no, we would like to follow in Slovenian, right? Especially from Slavic speaking countries. Of course, it's difficult if you come from China or something like that, that's understandable. So in that case, of course, you will study in primarily in English, right? But we have had students from China successfully graduating from bachelor's and master's levels, so there is no obstacle in terms of that, right? You just need more, how to say, adaptation and flexibility. Well, in terms of master studies, there are also two related questions to that. Do you have the option of online studies for master studies? Well, none of our master studies is 100% accredited online. So it depends on the study program, how much you can perform online. There are some which are, let's say, mostly carried out online, like leadership in open education. This one is a joint international program and it is mostly carried out online, but a portion of it is also carried out in a condensed, let's say, time of period at a location. And for the rest of the study programs, you'd better contact the school itself and check, you know, what can be done online and what can't, because there might be differences and it's difficult to generalize and to give you a general answer on that, right? Then another question about the master studies, how much do they cost? Well, let's say the traditional full scholarships are from 2008 euro to 3,500 euros. But as I've told you, if you come from EU or from any country holding a special international agreement with Slovenia, you don't have to pay for the master's studies, which are kind of financed from the state. And there are some of them financed by the state, like engineering and management, Slovene studies, and so on. For the rest, you will be able to apply for a special scholarship, right? So regardless of the country. So you're welcome to follow the news about this scholarship. And of course, just in case, if you come from the Ukraine, currently you don't have to pay the tuition fee if you have the status of temporary protection in Slovenia as an Ukrainian citizen, right? Then, another question which is actually fit for our students to be answered. How much money do you need per month to live in Nova Gorica, or actually our region? Let's generalize it. Yeah.
Depends on
How much you
depends
spend, right?
if you're used to spending a lot, then you're gonna need a lot. But most of the students are able to work, and they can work part-time also. So, and the pay for students is also good. I think that the minimum is €5.21. That can vary from job to job. So you can find jobs that are €5.50 or €6 per hour. That's per hour. And if you make around 100 or 120 hours a month, I think that should be enough for, to have pocket money, and you can make an agreement with your parents for them to pay just for the dorm, and you go and earn your pocket money. But I think around €500 is enough, is appropriate. I mean, don't expect here, you don't have where to spend the money. You don't have clubs, you don't have bars, you don't have I don't know if you're used to going out every Friday and Saturday. Here you don't have that. It's a very very pensionerski, very family oriented, very young, yes, but no clubs and no going out young as we are used to in the Balkans. So you don't have where to spend that money, and you can find meals with student bonds, where you pay like from €2 to €3.50 for each meal, and €500 is just enough. I don't think you need more.
Yeah, I think 500 is enough. What do you say, Magdalena?
Yeah, definitely it's 500 enough. But for the clubs thing, you are wrong.
Don't mention Marco Polo and Odon, because that is just
it's horrible. But I'm talking about Trieste is very near. If you really want to go and spend a weekend somewhere, go clubbing, if you're that kind of person, don't be scared that there's nothing here to do. There is. Take a train, take a bus. Italy is 5 minutes away, literally. A lot of people go there. All of us do that. And as well, for that thing, the school kind of always organizes something. Recently, we had a wine fair. Everyone was welcome to come. We stayed 7 hours maybe. Now this Thursday, we again have a hangout. It was also an art exhibition the art school did. So there's always somewhere to go. But you won't spend a lot of money like you do.
No, something is happening. You have Koper 1 hour, you have Ljubljana 1 hour if you really want to feel frisky. But here in Gorica, Gorica, not so much. Yes, you can go somewhere, but I was talking about Gorica. Yes, everything's something is happening all the time, but not you spending money, tons and tons of money that you need, I don't know, €1,000 a month. No, you don't. You really don't. Unless you want to go shopping every day, then.
Yes, I see your point. Actually, Milja, I think we have already been talking about that when I was young, there were a lot of clubs, and large and terrific clubs in the very center of Nova Gorica. Right now, all the clubs have kind of centralized in a few big cities, so to say, and leaving, let's say, no space for, let's say, successful bigger clubs in Nova Gorica. That's true, but luckily within, let's say, 45 minutes, you can reach larger towns and places where to go. That's the advantage of the location, I would say. Yeah. And maybe, this is what I would like to ask you students as well, to explain to the candidates this system of studentski boni, so subsidized student meals and subsidized transport in the very center of Nova Gorica, let's say. You even have free transport, free bus transport. So maybe, yeah, that's something also that has to be pointed out, because it in fact saves quite a lot of money, right?
Yeah, something that's unusual for a city is that here the city bus is free. So going from Gorica to Šempeter to Rožna Dolina to Solkan, you can do it for free. The bus from Gorica to Vipava, if you're staying in Gorica, for example, and your faculty is in Vipava, you have it cheaper for 25 euros. I think that's 25 euros as yeah. Also, I think now that when it was Corona, your bus card was also, it was also valid to go to Ljubljana. I think it was valid for the whole Slovenia. I don't know if it's still, but I know in Corona. It still is. So the buses are, I'm not going to say they're very on clock and punctual, but most of the time they are. Most of the time. Also on the weekends for everybody is cheaper. From Gorica to Vipava, it's €1. And then I think €3 from Gorica to Ljubljana or something like that. So it's cheaper on the weekends. Keep an eye on it. The student meals, you have, I think, 30 bons, studentski boni. So basically you can use one every day, but it's not like one per day. You can use however you want throughout the day. You just need to wait, I think, half an hour or an hour or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Currently in Nova Gorica, there are 4 restaurants where you can use them. The Chinese one, which I adore, McDonald's, Spar, where you get a whole meal for €3.50. And also this one restaurant near Upravna enota, Vrtnica. Also you get a whole meal. It's very affordable. It's so good because you get a big meal. In Spar, for example, you get soup, meat, salad, fruit, a drink for €3.50. And McDonald's for €2 you get sandwich, fries, salad, apple, delicacy of some sort like ice cream or apple pie. Very affordable, very, student-wise. So if you miss a home-cooked meal and you don't want to eat in the bakery every day or to eat kebab every day, you go to Spa and eat, and you feel like home because you also have meat, you have sarme, you have moussaka, you have rajnici, you have all the good home, like meals that reminds you of home. So that's also one of the good things you have as a student. We're very privileged here. They really look at you as an endangered species. They take care of you.
At least we're trying to, yeah. Oh, Magdalena, perhaps you can say a few words, and I will also ask Milja about the student job system. This is something also which is pretty unique in Slovenia. So on the national level, we have this well-established a traditional system of, let's say, student job agencies, and how you can work through that. You can perhaps tell your experiences, both of you, actually.
So I have worked maybe 2 years through the job system, M-Job. First, when you apply, the people that work there are very nice. They will help you with the procedure, tell you what documents you need, point you into the right direction. And you have an application where you can choose the region you want to work in, what type of job you want to work in. You can see how much they will pay you. Like Milja said, it's at least €5 per hour. It depends. Sometimes it's even 10. And what's very good is because you're a student, so they adapt your working schedule to your school schedule. You choose when you want to work. You choose from what to what time, you choose which days. It's a law, kind of. And the employer has to give you space. You can say, I want to work 3 days in a row and then don't work a week. No problem. You will not get fired for that. They understand. You're a student, you have other priorities. But as it was already pointed out, for pocket money, you at least work through the weekends if you really want to, and you will have enough. There's not really a lot of places to spend. I just saw the question, what kind of jobs? Everything you can imagine. You can work, deliver posta, you can work waitressing, you can work as a lifeguard, you can work in factory, you can work call centers, delivery, literally anything you want, reception, cleaning lady, whatever. There's no border. The only thing is where. Maybe in Ajdovština, there's not a hotel receptionist to work as, but there definitely is in a factory. And waitressing anywhere. To be a waitress anywhere in Slovenia, it's needed. And plus, a lot of the, for example, I have a friend that she works in Piran. And because it's a very long way of traveling, they offered her and others, if they stay and work during the summer, they will pay for their accommodation there, for their food there. They just have to work. So really, really approachable. Like we're endangered species and they really take care of us.
Yeah, Milja, you have also had a lot of student job opportunities, right?
Yes. I've been in Slovenia for now, it will be 4 years. Since the first month I came, I found a job as a waitress. No language, no experience, no nothing. I just popped in the bar and said, I'm a student from Serbia. I don't know Slovenian, I understand, but I can try. They took me, I worked there for 1 year. I've learned the language good enough. It's not bad, it's not perfect, it's good enough. I worked whenever I wanted, however I wanted. They had to accommodate me and my schedule. As Magdalena said, it's the law. They cannot force you, they cannot fire you for, I don't know, oh, I have an exam tomorrow, I cannot come to work. And they say, okay, you're fired, super, you go and you say, they fired me because I have an exam, and then they get into problems. But that never happened. I mean, I've heard of some horror stories, job horror stories, but that's in every country. And here it's very little, almost none. I worked as a waitress. I've worked as a translator, Slovenian to Serbian. I've worked in a store. I've tried to work in a factory. It wasn't for me, but they pay good. You work 8 hours, 5 days a week, weekends free. They pay good, but it just wasn't for me. You can work in a factory. You can work in a storage unit. You can work as a delivery for factory, storage units, delivery. You don't need the language. They will take you. They need people who work. Also, yes, Magdalena said about people working in Piran. You have people working in Bovec.
Which is up there in the mountains, like just next to, let's say,
you will work for 3 months and you have this paid. Yeah, you have everything paid just so you can work, and you basically keep the money clean, as we would say. Everything you can imagine. It's literally anything. You don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know the language, or I don't have experience. They will take you. You will get two weeks of training. They will take you, they will teach you, and that's about it. Usually now that I'm an absolvent, I work around 150, 160 hours a month. So, I mean, you do the math, how much money you make, but you don't have to work that much. If you want, you can just go and work 50 hours a week, 50 hours a month, or 100 hours a month. It's not, everything is how you agree with your boss, your leader on the work or whatever. and everything can be, you know, arranged, and they're very understanding because they have a lot of students, and you don't have to worry about it. It's really, it's enough.
Yeah, and it's also a very well regulated system. So actually, all the payments go, let's say, the student job agency actually pays you straight away, and they claim money from the employing company, right? So you don't have to actually to wait for the employer to provide money, because it's actually the money from the student job agency that comes to you, and later they give the bill to the employer, right? So it's a safe way. You are also fully insured at that time, and the lowest possible level of taxes are applied to student work, right? That's also something good, right? And we also at the university here, we also try to engage students as much as possible also in, let's say, payable options of cooperating with our university. So we engage them like, I ask my students, also Magdalena and Emilia have already taken place, let's say, to represent university at an educational fair or at a certain event. Or, for example, they translate something for me, for example, or they work on some payable student projects here at the university. Or, for example, the students of digital or media arts and practices are paid to help install certain, let's say, exhibitions and so on, right? So there's always some kind of an option also at the university, or some work in the labs in some small research, let's say, studies and so on, right? The last question that is still here unanswered: how many students from Bosnia and Herzegovina remain there after graduating, and if the procedure is complicated because we are not EU citizens? Well, I would say like that quite a few of those that I know have remained here, but I also know quite a lot of cases who went back to their countries, including Bosnia and Herzegovina, and they reported to me or to our career center that they found very good jobs there with our diploma certificate, and that the employers were actually very happy with them. So it's up to you. Of course, you are welcome to remain here. We need young people here in Slovenia. Our how to say, birth rate is rather low, so welcome young talented people. But of course, we are more than proud if an international graduate also goes back to his or her own country and contributes to the development of their country. So this is like also my personal wish, and I'm really proud, especially of those who contribute something to their countries. But with the diploma from a EU university, I think the doors are open. You can go practically anywhere. So we've got also lots of graduates working in, I don't know, Italy, Austria, wherever, elsewhere in Europe, or even US or Canada, and things like that. Unfortunately, I can't tell you, or the whole university can't probably give you much information about work visas and how complicated the procedure is for, let's say, setting up a work visa, because we don't deal with that. We only deal with the temporary residence permits for students, and actually we don't even deal with that practically, but we advise students how to apply for that, because it's the administrative units in every town that are appointed to do that by the ministry. So the university has no influence on that procedure. But of course, we can advise to the students what documentation is usually needed. And as Milja said, for example, it might be different also from town to town, from administrative unit to administrative unit, from the country of your origin. But it's always worth to ask in advance what you need, right? And you can also ask our admissions office, because now they are quite skilled. They can answer these questions as well, or redirect you to the administrative unit, to the right person authorized to answer you, to give you the best possible answer. Maybe Magdalena and Milja can also say a few words about what it is like to study at your particular study program. Let's say I've pointed out some general, let's say, advantages like the practical orientation of studies or practical placements, or for example this individual approach. So what do you like about your study program, about your school, about the way of studying here and living here, whatever?
I finished, my high school was like a language, mostly language is high school. I was a philologist and department, whatever. So I knew that I wanted to do something with humanities, and I was accepted at the Faculty of Political Sciences in Belgrade, and also accepted here in Slovenia. And I decided to leave Belgrade alone and come to Slovenia for cultural history. So if you are interested in politics, in history, in cultures, in languages, then my faculty is the one for you. We have various, like, oh my God. We learn from politics, diplomacy, through languages. We have German. You also have English, or you can choose Italian or Furlanščina, a dialect of Italian. You can choose Latin if you want. I have traumas from my gymnasium, so I chose German instead. We learn transcription, we learn archives, we learn ancient history, we learn everything on this godforsaken earth you can imagine. It's very interesting. My roommate says that my faculty is boring, but she's in engineering, so I guess, yeah. But for me, it's not. It's very interesting. I love it. I enjoyed it. I've never had a problem with any subject. Even if I didn't understand anything, I always turned to the assistant or directly to the professor and just straight up asked, I don't understand, could you explain to me? I never had a problems with any of my colloquies or my exams, because even if sometimes I couldn't make it, I just sent them an email and told them I can't make it, I'm working, or I didn't have the time, or I had mental health days, and they moved the exam for me. We had it later. No big deal. Really, they are all amazing and understanding, and you're gonna enjoy it. If you decide for my faculty, you're gonna enjoy it. I did my practice at the archive here in Gorica. It was nice. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but I did not enjoy it particularly because that's not something I would do. I'm more of a people person, and in the archive you are in four walls and you deal with documents and papers, which was interesting, but not something that I would actually do for the rest of my life. So I'm looking into now going more of a political way after I graduate and finish my diploma. So I do plan on doing my master's. Unfortunately, there are no masters for me at UNAG, so I had to go to another faculty. I mean, we'll see. It's nothing official yet, but we will see. It was great. I enjoyed it. I stressed less than in high school. I had less problems than in high school. If you are from a Balkan country, you already know all of those things. You just need a reminder. You will not stress. They're not gonna be days where you will only look at the book. You're really gonna enjoy your student years. I cannot recommend my faculty enough, but only if you like this region, this history and culture and politics. Because if you don't, it's gonna be boring for you, surrounded by old books. But if you do, you'll have the best 3 years of your life, and 4th year when you take Absolvent. So you will really enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I would do it all over again, to be honest.
Thanks, Milja. Magdalena, what about your study program?
So I am in 1st year, but it's a good thing that we communicate between each other with the 3rd years. So winemaking is not something you actually learn from a book. So that's why they implement so many practices. The school has its own vineyard. The students make wine from the school's vineyard. We have amazing professors, and I'm talking about really with high credits from France, from Italy, winemakers. They come and teach us, whether it's online or in person. And the Slovenian professors also, all of them are probably winemakers or some research scientists. So they really know how to implement the knowledge they have onto you. As we would like to say, they explain it like to a dumb person, so you can understand it. And then they show you how to do it. And you figure it out. It's very easy. And 24/7 availability. You text them in 3 after midnight, they reply to you. You text them, I really cannot understand this. I need help. They will arrange a meeting with you. The next day, come, we will have extra classes. I will explain to you. Let's take a road trip. It's very good thing that we also visit a lot of wineries and you see how the process goes. We recently were in Maribor in the Vinag winery in Ducal. Very enjoyable, would recommend. And like already said, wine fairs, you present wine from your country, you can even present wine, and people come and you feel like you already are a sommelier. That's the feeling you get, even though you do not know as much. But the teachers give you the, how do I say it? They give you motivation to become better and better and better and just reach the level you want to. And they even say you can go higher. So they're really pushing you. The subjects are, okay, I cannot say they're easy. You have chemistry, you have 5 types of chemistry maybe, but the teachers adapt to you. Extra classes, okay. Way of explaining, they adapt to you. That's a very good quality they have. So don't hesitate. If you're interested, do come. And as already previously mentioned, for any questions when you enroll, you will have our information, the student tutors and mentors. You can write us at any time and we will be more than willing to help.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, that was a very good description. Indeed, we are trying to give our students not just the knowledge itself, but skills, competences, and like this long life competencies, for their future job and life in general, right? And we are very, very proud of our students and graduates. I think they are the best proof that we are generally successful in that. And it's also easy to follow them, how they're doing, what they're doing, if they're successful, what kind of jobs they get, and so on, what their careers are like, because as I've said, that's the main advantage of a small university. We are like a community, we are like a family members to each other. So our doors are indeed literally open. My door here in the office is practically open, and we are used to students at our doors all the time, and that's perfectly normal, and the students understand. If we are for some reason unavailable at that time or very busy, no problem. Then we will meet them in 2 hours time, or in the worst case the next day or something like that. But the communication is efficient, and it how to say, it helps each other to make the best of your studies. That's the advantage of such a small university with the individual approach. I think that's definitely worth a lot, because most probably there are some people among you, maybe some candidates, or maybe your teachers or parents have told you what it was like for them, let's say, to study at large universities where the professors, even after 3-4 years, do not know who you are, your name, or cannot dedicate their time to you. Unfortunately, I had to study at that kind of a university because I didn't have the option of studying at a small university when I was a university student. And yes, it is much, much more difficult to, let's say, get all the knowledge, and especially these extra skills which can be applied to your job later on, you know. So yeah, that's maybe the main advantage of our university, right? So yeah, I would like to thank Magdalena and Milja for their experiences. If there's something else that I forgot to mention, I'm sure that you have lots still to tell, but all the candidates that wish to come into contact with our students, with our 2 students here, or other students of other study programs, let us know. We will put you in contact with them. No problem for that, because we know that it's very easy to communicate with them. Yes, of course. We will just, maybe once again, I can share my contact with you, so you can also copy the email address just in case you haven't done it yet. So here's the final page of our slides. Here you have the contact of the admissions office, the so-called student office, študentska pisarna. So they will answer you questions concerning the application, the enrollment procedure. You can also ask things like the information about the temporary residence permit, accommodation, and so on. Of course, if you have some questions related to the study programs themselves, to the organization of lectures, language of teaching, or, for example, the location of the school or something like that, or the contents of a particular course, then the best idea is probably to contact the school itself. So check the website, just write to the school's administrative office, and the secretary will be very fast to reply to you, or will forward your question to the dean or to the relevant professor, so to say. If you are interested in a mobility, in an Erasmus exchange, of course you can also use these 2 emails, and we will redirect you further to our international office, or you can simply contact our international office straight away. Of course, you've got the contact on the website. Plus, just in case, here's also my email address. If you're not sure whom to write to, in the worst case, you can write to me. I will try to do my best to help you, or redirect your question to the right office. Of course, we have social media of all sorts. Here I've added also an unofficial additional Facebook page, mostly meant for students, especially international students, because we write a lot of posts in English. So that's the Facebook page Study at UNG. So we all follow that as well, so you can write me there as well, right? So it was actually very nice to have you here. We wish you all the best. And yeah, like Emilia said, it is most important that you choose the area of studies that you truly enjoy, right? And then you will be successful, right? And you will be happy with your future job and your future life.
And you won't have breakdowns and mental breakdowns every day, because you actually enjoy what you study, and you don't have and you have professors who like their job and who want to do their job and who want to actually help you, because they are here to help us and teach us. You won't cry. Basically, you won't cry for the university, of course. I don't go in the rest.
Thanks, Milia. Yeah, if you have anything else to add, please just add. Otherwise, I would like to thank both for your attention. Magdalena, yeah, you're welcome to add something if you have a remark to conclude.
Nothing. I just wanted to say again, yes, choose what you want to study. And the other really important thing is to have the right motivation to do so. Because if you do not want it, you will not succeed, as already they said before. So contact us, we will help you, and hopefully see you next year.
Yes, we wish you all the best. For those of you who are into the matura or school leaving examinations at secondary school, we wish you lots of success and good marks. And we wish all of you all the best in your future academic, work, and personal lives. And we sincerely thank also the FAIR platform, Na koji ćeš faks, for giving us the opportunity to hold this presentation and to help us with the organization of the presentation. And thank you, Milja and Magdalena, for joining me and sharing your study experience. And of course, I wish all the best to you as well, but we are in contact anyway. Yeah, as we are with all the students and graduates. And I can tell you, whenever a graduate graduates and gets a job, we almost cry here at the university because we miss our students. But on the other hand, we are more than happy that you are about to realize your future dreams. So we wish you all the best and hopefully meet you in Nova Gorica in Slovenia. Goodbye.